What's going on, folks? On the air with VA3EWV AllStar Echolink. We're going to be getting started here just shortly, getting all the things connected, and then we're going to get with it. Yeah, so we start in like 5 minutes. So we're going to jam a little bit of the Big E music there. You can find it on the YouTube playlist there, Big E's Beats. Yep. So let me get this shared out. Let me see if I can hear, make sure it has sound. Okay, so it's broadcasting, that's good. Yep, I hear sound, so we're good. All right. So we got sound, we got everything going. How's it going, everybody? We got 2 people there. What's going on, Mr. Rich? What's up, baby? All right, awesome. If y'all get an Echolink out there, let's get with it. Let me just try to get this shared out now. Give it to them. Give them what they crave. Okay, copy the link and get this shared out. Okay, so that's the Cooper Marsh song there, and I've done a lot of activations at Cooper Marsh. I have the Kilo Award there. So let's go to my drive at 5. For the vibe, that's right. Bring the heat on this long, cool ride. Baby, rocking that drive at 5. Bring the joy and the funk, keeping it all alive. The hi-hat, that hi-hat, come on now. Better get in the air, but we don't mind. I like that hi-hat. Taking us home. Neighbors on the porches. Neighbors on the porches, grooving inside. With a voice pouring out. With their voice pouring out, ain't nobody lying. Tell him he's already a hero. With the toes so mellow in the sea of cars, he's the ultimate fellow. Okay, let's see who we have on Facebook here right quick. Tell them. Summer breeze, windows down, feel the vibe. Bringing the heat on this long, cool ride. Bringing niggas on the porches, grooving inside. With that voice pouring out, ain't nobody lying. Tell them. We're almost at the top of the hour, almost 8 o'clock. We're going to be getting started. Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is Earnest, Victor Alpha 3, Echo Whiskey Victor, with the AllStar Echolink Friday Night Net on the air with VA3EWV. We're going to have a good night tonight. I'll be saying most of this a couple of times as people get going, but we always have 2 rounds. The first round is a topic of the day, and the next round is what you're going to be doing for the weekend or the rest of the week. So when you do come in, let us know your name, where you're from, and stuff like that. And I might say, come on in, Mr. Allen, like I saw him here first. But then you have to actually tell people who you are and where you're from. How long you been a ham, by the way. Introductions, your name, where you're from, how long you been a ham, stuff like that. And I'm still thinking about tonight's topic, so we're going to have to, I'll have to figure that out. But anyway, we're gonna have a little fun in there, and we're gonna get everything started. It's 8 o'clock on the dot there, so I'm just gonna ask for a sound check first with NX3F. NX3F, how's it sound tonight? Hopefully you can hear me.
Hey, good evening, Ernest. NX3F here. May sound really, really, really good. No RF in your carrier or anything like that. You sound excellent. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. That means that the party can get started. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I see we have 4 people here already, so that just excites me. And a lot of new call signs, too, so that excites me more. Thank everybody for being here tonight. We're going to have some fun here. And I'm pondering about the topic. I had put on my Facebook group. I guess I'll just keep it that same kind of, that same topic as last time. On the Facebook there. So the topic this week, or the question of the day this week in the Facebook group, because I do have a Facebook group there, was, what was your first antenna? Like your first antenna, whether it's VHF, UHF, or you can tell about all your first antennas. What was it? And do you still have it and use it? So right now, I just want to say hello to everybody that's out there. We have NX3F here already. We have 4 Hotel India Juliet Papa Delta. We have VE1 GRP out there, VE3 JUM out there, and November and Kilo Delta 3 Alpha India Juliet. I want to say hello to everybody. Before we get started, do we have any short time people that may be at work or want to check in early? Please come now. Okay, Mr. Allen, I want you to do me a favor. You're usually here every week. I know every week you can't make it, but if I don't say that, let me know. Because there have been some people that gave me feedback in the past that said, hey, I was going to be a quick in and out, but you was a little long in the tooth, so I had to keep on going down the road there. All right, NX3F, when you come in, name, QTH, how long you been a ham, and then the question of the week, what's your first antennas? I don't care what bands and what either CB or not. What was your first antennas and what do you use? Okay, back over to you, NX3F.
Okay, EWV, this is NX3F. Good evening to everybody. Alrighty, well, my name is Alan, Alpha Leo Lima Echo November, and I'm located in Temple Hills, Maryland, right outside of Washington, D.C., and I say that lightly. I have been
NX3F in the group, Victor Alpha 3, Echo Whiskey Victor returning. There you got it, folks. You know, we was pulling chimney down back in the day. Pulling chimneys down back in the day. It didn't happen though, right? And there was 20 watts and 80 miles on CW. There you go. So I guess you don't have that same antenna anymore, but you know thank you for being out there. And when we get back to you again, we'll be seeing what you have now. Thank you for being out there. Okay, so I've never had a DX station come in. We have four hotel India Juliet Papa Delta. First time we have a DX station. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm pretty excited that you can hear my voice. My name is Earnest. I live in St. Andrews, West Ontario, Canada there. Just so everybody will know. We're going to pass the mic over to you. I showed Jonathan, but Jonathan, if you could tell us who you are and where you're from, that'll be great. Also, what was your first antenna that you ever used on any type of radio communications? And do you still have it? Back over to you. Okay, it got really quiet up in here. In 4H1 Juliet Papa Hotel. Let's see. Nope. Okay, we're trying to call in Jonathan. Jonathan, are you there? Before we keep going down the line. And if you are, you had to go do something, we'll come back to you. Don't worry about it. For a Hotel India Juliet Papa Delta, please come now. All right, we're going to keep it going. We're going to bring in now our friend Jim there, VE3JUM. Jim, you heard the questions, I hope. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and what's your first antenna, and are you still using it? Back over to you.
Hey, good day, parents and everybody on net. This is V3JUM, Jim. Location here is just outside Smith Falls, Ontario. I've been licensed ham since 1990. Always being challenged by the hobby. Continuing to learn every day within it. But I was actually out of the hobby for many, many years, and then just I got back into it about a year ago. So still learning, and I'm kind of challenged right now in my situation with this rental that I'm in. Trying to get it on the air, let's say. So Echolink or digital modes kind of seems to be my forte right now, but starting to learn a little bit more about IRLP, and if anybody's on that wants to talk after about that, I would gladly appreciate that conversation. But antenna, good question. Antenna. Well, first antenna was the rabbit ears for the TV.
Okay.
It was probably about when I got my license. No, I'm just kidding. But nonetheless, I was fortunate enough, my father, Victor Echo 3 Papa Alpha Echo, had a 80-foot tower in the backyard and various antennas within. It had Trident Explorer 14 at the time. And above that, there was a 2-meter UHF beam on top of that. And then on top of that, he actually had a Tron 99, which is typically an antenna.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
11-meter CV band, but it works really, really good on 10 meters as well. It's vertical. And then inverted the 40-meter and 80-meter hanging off that tower. So I was lucky enough to be able to get into that. But back in the day, I only had my 5 words per minute Morse code, so I was limited in regards to what frequencies I can operate on. But fully qualified now, and I wish I could take that time and be in that shack that he had back then with the equipment that he had.
Amen.
But, we'll get back there. Anyway, that's it. I appreciate you having hosting the net here, Earnest, and we'll wait for the next round here. D3J.
VE3JUM in the group. Victor Alpha 3 Echo Whiskey Victor returning. Yes, man, that brings some fond memories when you ask people about their first antennas and stuff like that. The next round, next week, I'm going to see how many of you electrocuted yourself and put your house on fire, your car's on fire. Because I did all 3, so that'll be the topic for next year. I mean, next week there. Thanks for being out there, Jim. Thanks for sharing with us. And we're going to ask for Jonathan one more time before we move on down to Mr. Richard there, VE1GRP. But Jonathan, did you make it into the net yet? Please come now. Okay, nothing heard. We're going to now bring it down to Mr. Richard there, Victor Echo 1, Golf Romeo Papa. I hope you've heard the questions. Uh, Name, where you're located, how long you've been in Ham, and then your first antennas. What was your first antennas, and do you still use any of those to this day? Over to you.
Yeah, that's great, Ernest. Thank you for the invite, and hello to everybody on the net. It's my first time joining, and I'm excited to be here. My name is Richard Perry, and I'm living in Antigonish, Nova Scotia, kind of on the northeast coast of the mainland. And as the crow flies, short trip over to PEI, my home province. Loving it here. I've been a ham relicensed just since late September. I had my Morse code way back in the mid-'80s out in Saskatchewan as a VE5, but this past summer we're in the RV in PEI, and I got all excited about getting back into the hobby. So it's great to be here, and I'm learning a lot. First antenna back late September. I bought it before I got my license, actually, and it was a 17-foot chameleon telescoping whip antenna.
Oh, yeah.
I quickly dummied up some radials for that, and then I tested a 41-foot random wire just from my little shed over to the house. That surprised my wife when she came back from shopping. And right now I've got a 71-foot end-fed random wire just in the backyard. I don't have a whole lot of space, but I've got enough to get it up there.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm also working on some elevated radials for what's been called the POTA Performer.
Okay.
So that's it. Using the Zygo G90 rig, and I'm just about to get a 100-watt rig for the QTH here. So back to net control from Victor Echo 1 Golf Romeo Papa.
Victor Echo 1 Golf Romeo Papa, Victor Alpha 3 Echo Whiskey Victor returning. Okay, so back in the game. That's what I'm talking about. Got your random wires going. Got your telescopic antenna going out too. Yes, one of my first, my first POTA antenna, or my first HF antenna period, was an in-fed half wave that was kitted out for me by Victor Echo 3 Echo Zulu Bravo, the Easy B, Steve there. The Steve Harvey, not the other Steve Harvey, but my Steve Harvey. He had everything laid out on the table there, and I came over and I got to wind the magnetic wire and stuff like that, and measure out the wire and all that, and solder everything together. And I was using the heck out of it, and then I had my temporary tower come apart, and it was hanging off the side of the house, and we took everything down, and I don't know what I did with the antenna after that, and I've been looking for it. So it breaks my heart I can't find it. That thing was working like a charm, and I know nothing else will work with it. And I've cleaned up my shack. If you guys tuned in at the beginning of the year there, I have a YouTube channel and stuff like that, and I redid the whole shack looking for that antenna. I've cleaned out my car, the wife's car, the basement. The whole property is getting cleaned because I'm still looking for that antenna. Anyway, thanks for being out there. Glad you're back in it. And now I'm gonna hit you up for that those elevated radios I was reading up about that. So I want to get some more stuff. So stick around. Okay, the next person on the list was Kilo Delta 3 Alpha India Juliet. Mr. Ron or Mr. Ronald there. Let us know your name, what you go by, where you're from, how long you've been a ham, and then share us with you your first antenna experiences. Over to you. Kilo Echo 9. There we go.
Thanks, Ernest. I appreciate you letting me join the net tonight. It
Pennsylvania, and the name is Ron. The first antenna that I was first licensed in 1966, and my first antenna built a quarter wave, excuse me, dipole for 40 meters, and had a Hallicrafters transmitter and a receiver, and had these little crystals I had to plug in for each frequency, and because I was a novice, I was strictly CW at that time. And I ran that for several years, and then I got out of the hobby, got into other things, so I got into college. I was only 14 when I started, and then just recently got back into it less than a month ago. And right now, I'm just working from a little Bofang handheld with an Abri antenna connected to it, which doesn't do too bad. I can reach my local repeater.
There you go.
But I'm connecting with you right now through Echolink on an iPhone. Great to have had the opportunity to hear your net and be part of it tonight. I appreciate that. 73s to everyone listening. This is Kilo Delta 3, Alpha India Juliet. Back for the net.
Kilo Delta 3, Alpha India Juliet, and the group. Man, I'm so glad a lot of people, I think that's been a story for a lot of folks. You know, I was writing my bio for the QRZ page and stuff like that, and you know, everybody, well, most everybody I've seen so far, they started, then they met a woman. That's what happened to most people. Then everything disappeared for about 30 years. And now the women are saying, go find something to do, and I guess everybody's getting back in the hobby. And funny you should say your phone, because my first antenna, I was just saying that my first antenna for HF was that Infant Halfway that was bought for me, but my first antenna for ham radio was the antenna inside of my iPhone 6 Plus, because that's why I do Echolink to this day. My first radio was my iPhone 6 Plus on Echolink, and listening to stations all over the world there, and getting myself ready to, because I was nervous, believe it or not, to press that push to talk, but here we go, and we're on it all the time now. Thank you, and don't go away, stick around. Let me pause for a second. Okay, I'm back. Also, I want to run my nets a little bit different, so I hope you guys have pen and paper and maybe writing something down or remembering something, because I noticed that with nets, it's kind of like a one-way thing back and forth, and you hear some cool stuff happening, and you never get a chance to talk to the other person, or you forgot to write their call sign down. So after our first round and me being nosy, wanting to know what you're doing for the weekend and this and that, if you guys have taken notes, you want to talk about someone said IRLP. If you know something about IRLP, get out there and talk about it. I know I want to ask about elevated radios. So I hope you guys understand where that's at, where I'm going with that. So if you hear something that you're interested in, just come back in, and we can do a round table. Thank you so much. One more time, since this is new to some people, the Echolink and AllStar, Mr. Jonathan there, 4 Hotel India Juliet Papa Delta. If you're out there and you're trying to get in, try one more time before we go there to our friend Richard there, KE9BWB, who just joined us. One more time, Jonathan, are you there? Also, there may be repeaters connected. So if that is a repeater, because I know twice now somebody has connected a repeater. So if anybody is in the Milana area, and this could be a repeater, come on in if you're out there. Let's see. We're just going to listen to if there's anybody from the Milana, Manila area. It is the DX area. Please come down. Okay, the next person I had showing on the list, I don't see him anymore. It says no info Echolink, so it could be you. Kilo Echo 9, Bravo Whiskey Bravo. Kilo Echo 9 Bravo Whiskey Bravo. Are you there? Okay, there was a DW1 station that popped in there too. Okay, there's someone that's out there that I haven't talked to. It says no info Echolink 288636. If you have not checked in yet, and please come on in. Okay, well that brings us back. That brings us to the bottom of the list. As someone else comes in, we'll bring them on straight away. We're going into our next round now, and which brings us back up to the top of the list with Mr. Allen there. So, Mr. Allen, what you got cooking right now, as far as radio's going, and what are your plans for the week or the week ahead or the weekend? Back over to you.
Okay, PA3EWB, and that's NX3F. I almost said my old call sign. I had to kill myself for a second. I'm just going to take it easy this weekend, man. I've been kind of a heavy week. I'm just going to be laying low. I'll probably do some HF work. But that's really about it. To answer your question about my first 80-meter when I was a novice, not like 50-some years ago. That antenna has been gone, and I've been gone from that QTH for almost 45 years now. I presently run a NFED random length wire. It's about 120 feet long, someplace in that vicinity, with about 18 to 20 radios at the base. They're buried in the ground, but that thing works like that thing works. I was really impressed with the performance on that thing. So that's just about what we got going on here. Ernest, back to you. BA3EWB, this is NX3F.
Okay, NX3F, thanks for being out there. Yeah, trying to take it easy on the weekend. I hear you. You know, I love my kids, my grandkids to death. But I told you guys, I've had company at the house for almost 4 straight weeks, right? And then the one daughter, she got a hold to me tonight and said, hey, because we're going to a little belt ceremony. He's in karate or whatever, judo, karate, something. We're traveling to Ottawa, Ontario to watch that. And that's at 9 o'clock in the morning, so we're going to have to get up around 6 to get ready to get that going. And then she says, oh, he wants to know if he can come back home and stay and spend the night. And I was like, if you're coming, yes. If you're not, the answer is no. And I've never told my grandkids no. I'm like, oh my God, I'm exhausted, right? Just want to come home and go to sleep. Now, I know I will try to get some radio in, and I did not know about this WWA. So if you guys look at it, it's a WWA Worldwide Award. That's going on now. It's a 30-day thing. And so I started dabbling with that and making some contacts, and all of a sudden I'm doing all this DX now, which I wasn't doing before. And last night I was invited by a friend, Victor Echo 9 Charlie Foxtrot. He said, hey man, you need to start doing DX. And he gave me a frequency to go to, and they had a cool thing set up there. One guy was talking to the gentleman in Japan there, and he was getting, and he's the one that's like, I guess, the net controller basically. And he's got a good line. They call it long line or something like that. You guys help me out. Long path or something. And so he had the guy on the hook for the long path, and he said, okay, if anybody wants to try to work him, go ahead. And he was putting people in the queue to work this guy. And I could hear him, and you know the DX rule is, if you can't really hear him, don't try to work him, right? And I'm like, well, I only got 100 watts. These people had amplifiers galore, beam antennas, you know, telepathy straight to the guy and all this stuff like that. I'm like, well, let me see what happens with my little infed half-wave homebrew there. And I called out, and then the guy said my name back, and I almost passed out. Anyway, that was fun times. Anyway, Mr. Allen, I know, like you said, take it easy, man. And I know I'll be seeing you around there. And I think I sent you the YouTube video of that activation where I said you were walking a dog. And a lot of people got a hold of him and said, I love it, but I don't want to listen to an hour and something. And I found out that if you go to YouTube and click on the transcript button or the closed caption, you can actually do a find, because I always say people's names, right? So you can do an alt find, because I always call you Mr. Allen. So if you do an alt find for Allen, it'll bring you right to it there if you didn't get to see it. So back over to you. Did you get to hear that or not yet?
Sir, I didn't know it. I didn't get it. I was wondering what happened to it. How did you say you said it? You said it? Go ahead.
No, I'll sing it. Well, you know what? I'll look for it because I know you said you had a heavy week there. So I'll just get the video. I'll send it to you an email if your email's on QRZ there. And then I'll tell you exactly the time on it because I want you to hear that transmission. A lot of times we don't get to hear ourselves on radio. And boy, when you came in like the Thundercats or something. I'm like, this boy here. Look at him. Look at him. I'm like, he got one of them big radios and ain't telling nobody. One of them sleeper radios. Over. Oh.
Here, Ernest, I had here, I talked to you that night, was, that afternoon, excuse me, was, the brother of the rig that you have. Go ahead.
Okay, Roger on that. Roger on that. Okay, so we had NX3F 4 Hotel India Papa Delta. Jonathan, I still see you logged in. Are you there? Over. Are you there? Okay, nothing heard from Jonathan. We're gonna go to Jim now. With any of your finals. So Jim, Victor Echo 3, Juliet Uniform Mike. What are you doing for the rest of the week? And if someone has a topic that you want to hear, you can reach out to them. Over to you, Mr. Jim.
Hey, thanks, Ernest, for that. Appreciate everybody being on net and the dialogue.
I think his head fell off the mic. You dropped out there, Jim. If you can come back, you dropped out there. Come back again.
Sorry about that, Ernest. Not sure exactly how that signal got dropped. Apologize. Yeah, so for the weekend here, I'm not exactly sure. Well, I don't have definitive plans, but I think on the last net, I might have mentioned that I was working on one of those DVM hotspots. So I put one of those together with a Raspberry Pi 20W with a hat on it, but you need a DMR radio or D-Star or YSF radio. So I've been playing around with that. And, the graciousness of the people in this hobby, I was on the net on Monday, and a fella, or call it fellow Ham, offered up a little HT for me to try out to pair up with this hotspot, because I don't have a means right now to get on any kind of digital radio system. So I'm going to be on the truck tomorrow, go pick up that little HT and try out this hotspot. Like I said, I'm kind of my hand tied, I feel, in regards to antennas and stuff like that. I know there's all kinds of things people do in HOAs and that sort of thing like that, but trying to keep my my antenna farm, so to speak, to a minimum, just based on the fact that I know I'm out of here in May. So, my answer right now too is like there's indications, and even on the Procom net that you host on, or you see on Thursdays and Sunday nights, is on an IRLP, and so I'm learning about that. Always learning. So back to net again. Appreciate everybody being on net, and thanks for hosting, Ernest. VA3EWV. This is VE3JUM.
VE3JUM and the group VA3EWV returning. Yes. If you are a bored person and you're broke and bored, join ham radio. because you will no longer be bored, but you'll still be broke. That's what I'm talking about. Actually, my wife makes shirts and stuff like that, and I have a red shirt that she made for me with gold lettering that says, "Oh my God, I forget what it says now." But anyway, one of those things that basically saying I'm broke. A ham life. It says like ham life, broke or something like that. I'll have to show y'all the shirt. All right, thank you for being out there, Jim. There, and we'd love to have you in there again. And I do have a friend named Fred there, by the way. He's a blind ham, and he's been trying to get things going so he could go join the blind net. And they don't do DMR, unfortunately. The Brandmeister Network won't let that happen. So he was looking for a alternative, and he has a hotspot. And turns out, sadly, that the guy that sold him the hotspot, I found out recently, is a silent key. So if you know anything about, like, once you get your stuff sorted out and working great, he has a hotspot. I know they're all different, but that'll be something to do. Hams helping hams. There is what I call it, and maybe we can get him going. I did go grab his radio, which was Retivus radio, and they had software on it for blind hams. And I was determined to get it working because not a lot of people around here do digital anything, right? So I tossed and turned with that and looked at videos and whatnot, and I got it working for him. So I was very happy to give him that, and because it talks to you, right? The radio, it'll tell you what you're looking at and it'll speak to you. So we can get him on there on the hotspot, and he can get out on the world. That'll be good to go. Okay, we've talked to NX3F, we talked to V3JUM. I only have two other things out there. Jonathan, who's not come in yet, and another node that's connected, but it has no information. So if anybody else is out there that wants to say hello, please come now. If not, we'll be... okay, we have V1DXW out there, Devin. Devin, don't go away. There's two other stations out there. If you want to check in, please come now. If not, we'll bring it over to Jason. We're standing by for you.
WVVE1DXW. Thanks for calling me. I just remembered it tonight. Go back on it. Once you jump back over you.
Devin, we've been having a great time tonight. So far, we've had NX3F, Mr. Allen, here tonight. We've had 4 Hotel India Juliet Papa Delta. That was going to be my first DX station. Guy by the name of John, but we haven't heard from him. We had VE3JUM, Jim, VE1GRP, Richard, Kilo Delta 3, Alpha India Juliet, Ron. We had Kilo Echo 9, Bravo Whiskey Bravo, Delta Whiskey 1, Romeo Victor X-Ray, and then you, VE1DXW Devin. Here's our topics for tonight. What was your first antenna that you had, whether it was back in the day with CB radio or now, and do you still use it? That's our topic, so come in with your name, your QTH, how long you been a ham, then if you could answer those questions, your first antennas, and are you still using them? Back over to you.
Yeah, wasn't pulling over Scotia. First antenna was a big stick for CB. It's still up in here. I don't use it anymore. I haven't had a CB net for, I don't know, 20 years. I've been a hand probably 6 or 7 years now. Still enjoying it. Back over you.
Okay, folks, and that was Devin, my friend from Nova Scotia there. The big stick, not using it on CB radio anymore. Been a ham for 6 years. I did not know that. I thought you just started with me. For all you, I haven't answered my own question. So my name is Earnest, by the way. I'm from St. Andrews, West Ontario. I got my license on January 17th, 2023. So I'll be celebrating my 1 year in just a week or so from now. And I got my HF on April the 24th. So newish on HF, a new ham. Once I get my 1 year anniversary behind me, I'm not going to say I'm a new ham anymore. I'm going to say I've been here forever. right? But which is not true. But anyway, that's if you're just joining, that's when I started as a ham. My first antenna for ham radio was my antenna in my iPhone 6 Plus. I've said that. My first HF antenna was my infrared half wave, and now I also have a Supermax tri-bander, and then I had a Diamond X50, which I sold to get the Supermax tri-bander. So I lost my first antenna, and yeah, still out there doing it. So we're at the bottom of the list now. I think we've gone around to everybody. We're going to do one last call before we say goodbye. And then if anybody wants to stick around after, we can just jaw jack at the end. All right, last call. Please come now to Victor Alpha 3 Echo Whiskey Victor. Okay, we're going to open it. Okay, now we're going to open it up if anybody has any cross traffic to other people. And if not, we're going to say happy weekend to you all. And we're going to end the net. So we're going to pause right now for any cross traffic. Please come now. Okay, I want to thank all of you for being out here tonight and coming out and joining me on the air with VA3WV. We're here as many Friday nights as we can be at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here. We always try to have 2 rounds of traffic, and then we try to have some fun. And like I said, the new thing we're going to do is you're going to take notes there, and if somebody brings up a topic that you want to talk about, we're going to give you that opportunity to do it. This is Victor Alpha 3 Echo Whiskey Victor saying 7-3 to everyone, and we'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye for now. Okay, we're going to see if anybody else pops in there.
Hey, this is Evening AllStar. Checked in, said that they were experimenting or doing something with elevated videos. I missed the call sign and the name on it. Go ahead. This is NX3.
Yeah, hi, this is Richard in Nova Scotia again. If I'm on, I'm the guy who brought up the radials. Yeah, I got the idea. First of all, this will be with my 17-foot chameleon whip. And the idea is that if you elevate one radial, or maybe even two, you'll get quite a bit of gain. And the best thing for me to do would be to give you the link. If you look up KB9VBR, Kilo Bravo 9, Victor Bravo Romeo, Michael Martin's from Wisconsin. He's got a great video on how to set it up, and I've kind of modeled my build exactly on that. And in fact, this weekend I'm putting the radials together. It's really just 17 feet, and in my case I'm using a 20 gauge orange silicone wire, and you insert your brakes in there for 6 meters, 10 meters, 12 meters, 15, 17, and of course if you leave the whole line in, you've got 20 meters. The brakes are connected with little spade terminals, and I'm using alligator clips from Canadian Tire at the end, both to ground on the tripod base, and then at the far end I'm using those orange driveway markers you get in the wintertime here in Canada.
Yeah.
That's what I'm using. So glad to take any questions on it, but again, I'm just building the thing.
Yeah, okay, Rick. Yeah, nice to meet you. My name is Alan, and I'm located in Maryland, Temple Hills, Maryland. Yeah, I saw that KB9 DVR. I saw his video on that, and I thought that was quite interesting. But what's really interesting is you're building it, and I really would like to know what the end result is going to be on that.
Yes.
I saw his video and a couple of other people that were on YouTube that did the exact same thing, and but I don't remember what the outcome was on it. As a matter of fact,
What I found a little better listening to what Michael had to say about it was he had a link to an American Ham. I think his name is Greg, and he's the guy who came up with this, and he's put together a 6 or 7 page paper that gets into a lot of the modeling and a lot of the science behind it and why it works so well. And he shows if you put the radials at a 90-degree angle, 17 foot one way, 17 at 90 degrees, they're claiming you're going to get between 4 and 6 dB of gain. So you've got the feed point elevated about 4 feet on the tripod, and then you've got your radials elevated anywhere between 2 and 4 feet. And that's the only way I really know how to explain it. But I've printed off that Greg Fellow's instructions. There are different ways to build it, but yeah, like you, Alan, I'm going to be curious. I probably won't get to do it till this spring, but I can't wait. Back.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and especially when you say you're running that chameleon whip, because that chameleon whip is, if I remember correctly, that chameleon whip is only, that's kind of a short piece of aluminum going up in the air, isn't it? It's pretty short, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 17-foot steel whip, telescoping, 5 meters, roughly 5.01 meters. And it goes up easily, obviously, pardon me. And when I had used it in the front yard here, I was just throwing out 4 radials of roughly 17 feet, just using some speaker wire for the radials. But I found to be resonant on 20 meters, you have to bring that 17 feet down to about 16 feet, 4.5 or 5 inches, and you'll get a pretty good SWR reading. But yeah, chameleon is it's the CHA-SS 17, but I know MFJ has the MFJ 1979 17-foot whip. So again, I've only deployed that thing maybe 4 times here in the yard, but it's worked pretty well so far. Back to you, Alan, or someone else on the net.
This is Victor Alpha 3 Echo Whiskey Victor. I'll go next. If anybody doesn't have anything, I'll pause and see if anybody else. If not, I'll ask the question next. Go ahead if anybody else has a question. Okay, nothing heard. I've written some of this up on the I do a live there, so I put some of the notes in the live just in case if we hear things and stuff like that, so you can always go back to the live. I have a Chelegans M750, and I've been very, very happy with that antenna. I only used it on 40 at first. I had a call for 40 for it. It's telescopic as well. Mr. Allen, I don't know how many feet it is. Don't know. I'm a guy that likes to get store-bought stuff, so, and if I had somebody to set it up, that's even better. I'm one of the ham operators who just likes to get and talk and stuff like that, but I saw that elevated thing, and I was like, that's pretty interesting, right? So, Jim, if you can get that going, let us know. I do have the Facebook page there. I don't know if you're on my Facebook page there, but on the air with VA3EWV. And if not, that's okay. That my link is out there on QRZ. I'd be happy to if you can send us some pictures with what you've had or what you're gonna do, or even some video or something, or take a little bit of video of what the radio sounds like once you get everything set up. I know me and Mr. Allen will be very, very curious to see what the end result is, and if you can get that. Oh, Gary says he's gonna send. Oh yeah, that is you. He'll send some info. Okay, so that's gonna be good. I can't wait to see that and have that stuff up. Back over to you, Jim.
Not sure if you meant me, Richard.
Oh yeah, yes. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I the radios on the ground, and I don't even pretend to know the science behind all that stuff, but a couple of reports I've seen on YouTube and some groups is that the stuff works. So yeah, I'll be glad to. I'm going to do a little bit of soldering on the radios actually on the alligator clips this weekend. So I'll either snap some pictures or
Yeah.
video and get it up to you, Ernest. Back to you.
Well, I'm telling you, that will be awesome. And I know that there are be a lot of people, and that's what I like about the group that we have here. I don't even call it my. I know it's got the title there, but I love the fact that everybody participates and shares and stuff like that. That's what it's all about. All right, that's all from me. Let's see if there are any other finals out there. And just so you know, we did have a Jim tonight. Jim, VE3JUM. I was just looking at my notes there, and I had saw his name when I told you to come when I asked you to come back in there, and I just happened to see his name there. Also on the net there, we have Rich out there as well. We had about 4 or 5 people on the net join us tonight too, because some people don't have the Echolink and things like that. So we appreciate them being out there too and leaving their comments in there. We had Delta Zulu 8 Japan out there tonight. Also, Michael Anthony out there tonight as well, and yeah, a couple other people. So that's good. Yeah. So I'll leave it over to you guys for any finals, Mr. Allen. It's just you, me, and Rich there. So, Mr. Allen, the mic is yours for any finals.
Okay, this is NX3F. Richard, I didn't catch your call sign. If you said it earlier, I missed it, so I apologize for that, so I can write it down here. And like I say, we'll be interested in the outcome of that. I know that my experience with radios is I've never really had elevated them. I never tried it, but very quickly when I got this random length of wire up in inverted L, and when I started laying radios down, oh man, the signal strength started going up, and I think I went up maybe about at least 3 or 4 dB on signal strength by measuring it by these remote SDR receivers that they have online. So it's definitely in a direction. But man, see what if I could elevate those baby and get a little bit more signal out? That would be tremendous there, Rich. Over to you from NX3F.
Yeah, good stuff, Alan. The one thing I was thinking about was whether or not the only thing I've seen online is the elevated radial system or the POTA Performer being used with a 17-foot telescoping whip. But I presume you could do the same thing with a 25-foot whip. I know Chameleon has a 25-footer. Whether you would assume it might even help with your inverted L. So hopefully that's the case, yeah. Anyway, I'll try to get some more information and post that. My call sign, sorry. I almost forgot that. Victor Echo 1 Golf Romeo Papa. I am up on QRZ. There's not a whole lot of info there, but we can maybe touch base that way and share some email if you want to. Back to you.
Yeah, sure. No, not a problem. As a matter of fact, were you the one that you was getting a hot spot, looking for a hot spot, or with a Raspberry Pi 3, Raspberry Pi 0? Were you one? Go ahead.
Negative on that. The only Raspberry Pi I know is something I would eat. I don't know too much about that other stuff, but it wasn't me, no, Alan.
Okay, I may have confused that. Okay, not a problem. Okay, VE1GR, very good. Okay, well, good luck on your project. project, and like Ernest was saying, the outcome would be very interesting to see how you meet up with it. Really quick, I don't want to hold you anymore necessary in the net of how much power are you running when you try to do an experiment with that whip, and what kind of contact did you make on it? Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem at all. I've used mostly the Zyku G90, which pumps out a whopping 20 watts full power. But I've made QSOs over to the middle of the UK, to Slovenia, a bunch down in the southern states, and across Canada. So, not real far, not a whole lot of DX stuff, but I think my second contact I ever made once I got the nerve up to hit the PTT was over in the UK. But this guy was pumping out about 400 watts too, so. But no, I love the whip. It's so portable, easy to get up on a nice antenna, which gives me about 4 feet. And it's something where I might even be able to put on a mag mount on a vehicle, and do some POTA if the weather's kind of crappy. It's way too windy out here this weekend to do anything, so I'm going to stick in and build my my 49 to 1 antenna. So yeah, I'll definitely report back to Ernest and the gang. And before I sign off, I want to thank you, Ernest, for guiding me along and using Echolink, because I'd never heard of it before, and I'm really proud of all the work you're doing for the community. So I want to thank you just as I sign off here from Nova Scotia. Hello and goodbye to the net. Victor Echo 1 GRP 73 to all.
Okay, well, man, this is what I like, this back and forth stuff. So we're gonna keep that going. That was so Ham has been out so long, and you hardly ever. I guess all my friends keep saying, "Oh, you keep doing other stuff." That's why some people kind of frown at what you're doing. But I always had questions that I was never able to ask, or I forgot their call sign, like Mr. Allen said. But Mr. Allen, I'll get that information to you because I have this recorded, and I was writing some notes down there because I want to get a hold of that same gentleman because of my friend that's the blind ham. He's having some problems with the Raspberry there, getting it going, and the guy who sold it is now passed. So yeah, I'll get all that information out there and back and forth to everybody. Devin is back, VE1DXW. Devin is one of the first people I talked to on Echolink, and Devin was in the hospital when I met him, by the way, folks, and that's how he was getting out on the air. He had a brand new, well, I'll let him tell it, but he had a brand new radio sitting at the house and was talking to me on Echolink there. So go ahead on there, Devin.
Yeah, Ron, Ernest, when I got back in the radio, because I was off of it for a while, VE1DXW. So I don't have a whole lot of contact, but I make a few a day if I can, mostly HF, OE Ernest.
Yep, so we're going to keep it going there, keeping the Echolink and AllStar alive. And I'm going to be getting my own IRLP as well. And I was actually talking to my blind ham there about Ham Shack Hotline. Because on some of those nets we do like TransCanada Net. I'm actually in rotation as the net controller for TransCanada Net and the Procom Net. Both of those nets there. So we keep things going there. All right. That is it for tonight. You guys have a good rest of your day there. And we'll catch y'all next week. This is On the Air with VA3 EWB Echolink AllStar. Good night, everybody. 7-3 to you. All right, we'll get their finals and we'll play some music.
Ernest, before you go, send me a message before the Canada Boy Dad. I can't never remember when it is. So send me a message whenever you think about it.
Yeah, no problem. And I'll also do like you do with me. If something's happening, I'll start messaging you to let us know it's happening there. I try to keep that stuff though. If you check out the website, because I know the website on my site it gives an hour's notice, so I'll try to make sure that I keep my net, TransCanaNet, um, TransCanaNet, and the other net on as well all the time there. Oh, we got our friend Pete here that joined us, VA2 FKR. Pete, how you doing tonight? Our topics tonight was what was your first antenna, and do you still use any of them? And if you can just come in there, Pete, with your name, where you're from, how long you've been a ham, and what was your first antenna, and or do you still use it? Come on in.
V2, FKR, Pete. Located in Godwin, Chester, Quebec. For about, I'd say 8 years now. And my first intent was a homemade long wire, which I still do. It's up, and it's there up in case I'm having difficulties with my teenage antenna. But just thought I'd get in and see how you're doing. Anyway, turn it back to you, V2 FKR.
All right, VA2FKR, I thank you for being out there. Yeah, we're right at the end of the net there. We've had a good, strong hour of fun there. And I was wrapping it up, saying good night to everybody. Goodness gracious, you can tell I'm tired here. I'm trying to look for a restful weekend. Hopefully, I can have that. We've got a trip to Ottawa tomorrow for a ceremony for one of the grandkids. Then it's my daughter's birthday. And I already told the wife I'm going to be sleeping all day Sunday. So if she needs something done, she needs to get it done tonight or tomorrow. Because Sunday is sleep day. I'm going to stay in the bed there. All right, everybody, y'all have a good rest of your day. I'll be signing off here now and closing off the net. This is On the Air with VA3EWV and 73 Doll.
Hey, hold up for a second. Hold up. You got one question you got to answer for me. I'm curious, and you can give me a quick response or whatever your heart feels. What did you find out when you had all that RF getting into your audio last week? What did you do? Go ahead.
You know, I'm glad you asked. And, I said I had moved the shack around. Now, I had a little bit of a hum in there anyway. I went back and listened to some of the videos, and I had some hum in there. And then it got really bad because I tried to put, everything where I could see it there in the shack. And then I just got right out frustrated because nothing was working. I went from bad to worse, Miss Allen. So I took that node and my ham clock and went all the way to the basement, stuck it in the back corner where nobody goes, plugged it into the wall there, and then had it directly connected to the wired internet there. And then I came upstairs, and that's all she wrote there. So that thing's completely at the bottom of the house in the back, by the cold storage room, on the floor, as far away from here, and I'm at the front of the house on the opposite side. So it's on its own little, and that power that it's connected to, I had those electrical outlets put in when we were getting our filtered water system put in there. So it's back there in the cold out of everybody's way, and that's it. So that's what we did with that. We just took it out the shack all together there. Over.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, I still say to this day, it sounded like RF was getting into your audio. That's exactly what it sounded like. I had it many, many, many years ago. It took me a while to try to find that, and I found it. So, very good, excellent. Well, you sound really good. You sound really good. Really professional here this evening. You do an excellent job here on the net, trying to keep the net going and stuff. So, I'm tipping the hat to you, bro. All right, have a good evening. EWB, this is NX3 signing in. Good evening to everybody on the net.
Thank you so much there, Mr. Allen, and you have a great rest of the day. Thanks for asking me that question, because I was going to give you guys an update. I didn't see James, our good friend James, but he said that net runs a little bit late for him. But he's always there in spirit, because I know he wanted to know too. Okay, y'all have a good night. You too, Pete, VA2FKR. Pete, I'll get a hold to you, not tonight, but tomorrow, because I did get some news that Renee is a silent key there. Over.
Can you? I kind of back.
Okay, I'll hit you up on the phone there tomorrow. I'm going to get out of here and go. And like I said, I'll follow up with you tomorrow there. All right, VA2FKR, NX3F. Y'all have a good rest of your day. 7-3 to everybody. I'll be logging off now. Okay, folks, that's it for the net. Let's get some music out there before we go. I have about 14 ham radio songs. So this one is going to be Big E's Polar Adventure. Here we go.
Join the radio fun.
Okay, folks, that is it. For the net, thank you for being here. I was being told that gotta go eat. So I'll be seeing y'all later. The song is over, and have a good rest of y'all's day. This is on the air with VA3EWB saying 7-3 to all.